Today is Friday, July 31st. Welcome to Big Book Daily. My name is Rob. I am an alcoholic. It is a thrill, honor, and joy to be here with you today as we journey through the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous and the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions. Today out of the Big Book, we are on There's a Solution. We will be reading page 20. Out of the 12 and 12, we're on step 4. We'll read page 42. I think we're beginning that today. And of course, we'll read NA's Just for Today and Al-Anon's Courage to Change. So with that, hope y'all are doing well this beautiful Friday morning. Man, we made it through the work week, and we're about finished with July. It's hard to believe, and I know I'm supposed to be living one day at a time. But I'm not going to lie, I'm starting to count down the days till hockey season begins, and I believe this year it begins a little bit sooner than previous years. I think it's at the end of September is the first Flyers game, and it's against the Penguins. So, I'm already counting down. You know, there's two seasons for me. There's hockey season and there's hockey off season. And there's a point in time where I'm super excited and fired up, and there's a point in time where all I'm doing is pining for more hockey. But anyway, I am getting way ahead of myself. Let's go ahead and get to the good stuff. All right, my friends, so if you recall from There's a Solution in the Big Book, one of the last lines was a powerful one, and it's one that has really been reinforced by Bill's story as well. Our very lives as ex-problem drinkers depend upon our constant thought of others and how we may help meet their needs. And I think we read this a couple of pages ago. When all else fails, working with another alcoholic saves the day. I think that was in Bill's story, yeah. It was one of the last things he said. Let me make sure. Yep, on page 15, there it is. This sometimes nearly drove me back to drink, but I soon found that when all other measures failed, work with another alcoholic would save the day. And it's just been reinforced in There's a Solution. So we're going to read the rest of page 20. You may have already asked yourself why it is that all of us became so very ill from drinking. Doubtless you're curious to discover how and why, in the face of expert opinion to the contrary, we have recovered from a hopeless condition of mind and body. If you are an alcoholic who wants to get over it, you may already be asking, what do I have to do? It is the purpose of this book to answer such questions specifically. We shall tell you what we have done. Before going into a detailed discussion, it may be well to summarize some points as we see them. How many times people have said to us, I can take it or leave it alone. Why can't he? Why don't you drink like a gentleman or quit? That fellow can't handle his liquor. Why don't you try beer and wine? Lay off the hard stuff. His willpower must be weak. He could stop if he wanted to. She's such a sweet girl. I should think he'd stop for her sake. The doctor told him if he ever drank again, it would kill him, but there he is, all lit up again. Now, these are commonplace observations on drinkers, which we hear all the time. Back of them is a world of ignorance and misunderstanding. We see that these expressions refer to people whose reactions are very different from ours. Moderate drinkers have little trouble in giving up liquor entirely, if they have a good reason for it. They can take it or leave it alone. Then we have a certain type of hard drinker. He may have the habit badly enough to gradually impair him physically and mentally. It may cause him to die a few years before his time. If a sufficiently strong reason, ill health, falling in love, change of environment, or the warning of a doctor, becomes operative, this man can also stop or moderate, although he may find it difficult and troublesome and may even need medical attention. But what about the real alcoholic? And we will talk about that one tomorrow. Stay tuned. Out of the 12 and 12, we're on step 4. Made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. So in step 1, we admitted we were powerless, that our lives had become unmanageable. Step 2, we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves, something higher than us, right? A higher power, could relieve us of our alcoholism. And then in step 3, we made a decision to turn our will and our life to the care of God as we understand Him. And now I need to take that willingness and get to work, making a searching and fearless moral inventory, right? So we are going to read page 42. Creation gave us instincts for a purpose. Without them, we wouldn't be human beings. If men and women didn't exert themselves to be secure in their persons, made no effort to harvest food or construct shelter, there would be no survival. If they didn't reproduce, the earth wouldn't be populated. If there were no social instinct, if men cared nothing for society of one another, there would be no society. So these desires for the sex relation, for material and emotional security, and for companionship are perfectly necessary and right, and surely God-given. Yet, these instincts, so necessary for our existence, often far exceed their proper functions. Powerfully, blindly, and many times subtly, they drive us, dominate us, and insist upon ruling our lives. Our desires for sex, for material and emotional security, and for an important place in society often tyrannize us. When thus out of joint, man's natural desires cause him great trouble, practically all the trouble there is. No human being, however good, is exempt from these troubles. Nearly every serious emotional problem can be seen as a case of misdirected instinct. When that happens, our great natural assets, the instincts, have turned into physical and mental liabilities. Step 4 is our vigorous and painstaking effort to discover what these liabilities in each of us have been and are. NA just for today, July 31st. Freedom from active addiction. Narcotics Anonymous offers only one promise, and that is freedom from active addiction, the solution that eluded us for so long. Basic text, page 106. NA offers no promises other than freedom from active addiction. It is true that some of our members meet with financial success in recovery. They buy nice houses, drive new cars, wear fine clothes, and form beautiful families. These outward signs of prosperity are not the lot of all of our members, however. A great many of us never achieve financial success. This does not necessarily reflect on the quality of our recovery. When we are tempted to compare ourselves to these other seemingly more affluent members, it is good to remember why we came to the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous. We came because our lives had fallen down around us. We were emotionally, physically, and spiritually defeated. Our basic text reminds us that in desperation we sought help from each other in Narcotics Anonymous. We came because we were beaten. For addicts, even one day clean is a miracle. When we remember why we came to Narcotics Anonymous and in what condition we arrived, we realize that material wealth pales in comparison to the spiritual riches that we have gained in recovery. Just for today, I have been given a spiritual gift greater than material wealth: my recovery. I will thank the God of my understanding for my freedom from active addiction. Al-Anon's Courage to Change, July 31st. A source of friction between my alcoholic loved one and myself has always been housekeeping. I usually feel so overwhelmed by all the things that need doing that I'm not able to get organized. So when he drinks, he rages about whatever needs dusting, scrubbing, or picking up. Recently, we were cleaning up the kitchen after a big breakfast. Without thinking, I moved the containers on one refrigerator shelf and wiped up a spill. No big deal. But one part of the refrigerator was now clean. I thought, maybe that's all there is to cleaning house. If I do one small task at a time, I'd get something accomplished. Then the light went on inside my head. That's what one day at a time is all about. When I take one day, one moment, one task at a time, and really concentrate on it, a lot more gets done. Today's reminder: when I catch myself feeling overwhelmed or not being able to get anything done because there's so much to do that I don't know where to start, I'll stop for a moment and remind myself to take it one step, one task, one day at a time. Quote from This Is Al-Anon: remembering that we can only live one day at a time removes the burdens of the past, keeps our attention on the present, and keeps us from fearing the future. All right, my friends, that concludes today's reading and some beautiful stuff. I could think of something to talk about in every single one of the readings today. First of all, the 12 and 12, talking about the instincts, right? These instincts by ourselves, according to the text, they're not bad. These desires for the sex relation, for material and emotional security, and for companionship are perfectly necessary and right, and surely God-given. That's on page 42, right? When my instincts go to the extreme, that can cause some problems. Whether it's the sex relation, and I'm a married man, that could be problematic. Materialistic or emotional security, or for companionship, and I don't get it the way I think I should, that can be a problem. It says right here, yet these instincts, so necessary for our existence, often far exceed their proper functions. And then it says a little further down, nearly every serious emotional problem can be seen as a case of misdirected instinct. When that happens, our great natural assets, the instincts, have turned into physical and mental liabilities. So it's like anything, the instincts in themselves are not bad and can be used for good. But when taken to the extreme, well, that could be a problem in my life for sure. And then I love in the NA reading that recovery far exceeds material wealth or all these things. In recovery, that's not a guarantee that I'm going to, now that you're sober or clean, Rob, you're going to have a 4-story house and you're going to live on the lake and have 2-3 jet skis and a pontoon. No. And honestly, the older I get, the less and less I care about that stuff anyway. I think I told the story not too long ago, but I heard a story about this man who had that 4-story house and had all those things, right? And he had some kind of, they had to let him go because his alcoholism had gotten so bad. The company he was working for. And finally, he was living in this tiny little cold water flat. And he just had his cat. And that was it. And I think he even took a bus to the meetings. And he'd been sober for quite a bit. And all of a sudden, the company that released him, I guess they realized the error of their ways because they needed him back. And he thought about it over the weekend. And he realized, you know what? I'm good. I'm happy. I'm sober. I've got my little cat. I got my place. My needs are met. I'm good. And I'd like to be able to say that about my own life one day, that I'm good. I don't need all that stuff. I'm good. What a blessing that is, right? And then finally, the courage to change, doing things one task at a time. The analogy I really want to go to is writing. That's one of my passions. I love to write, but I am a perfectionist, a recovering perfectionist. Let me put it that way. And I would start writing, and I'd either want to make it absolutely perfect from the first go around, or I would get overwhelmed thinking about all the stuff I had to include, or the fear that I couldn't do it would paralyze me, right? But I have learned through experience, if I just take it one sentence at a time, forget about making it sound perfect, just get my ideas on paper and build that routine one baby step at a time. That's sure enough, over a vast collection of one step at a time, right? Eventually, the job gets done. And it wasn't near as overwhelming. And I needed to be reminded of this. It's just one step at a time. And I will say this last thing is, as a teacher, I always wanted to be a lifer, to be in one school system for my entire career. Well, I've learned over time that, certain circumstances would come up where, there'd be some family changes or opportunities for the family would change and we would have to move for whatever reason. And now I've been to 1, 2, 3, 4. This is my 5th school district in 17 years. And I'm realizing, you know what? It's just one step at a time. Let's see how this year goes. I'm going to do the best I can, try to be of service, and wherever it is that my higher power directs me, that's where I'll go. Just one step at a time. But my friends, I've rambled on enough. I hope y'all have a great one today. Please know, as always, I don't speak on behalf of AA, NA, Al-Anon, any other sect or denomination. I'm just a joyful drunk in this lifeboat of recovery, honored to be here another day. And if we're given another set of 24 hours, I sincerely look forward to seeing you right back here